What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants. Hey, take a listen at the words of Lennox Lewis. Brief video clip. I'm going to let you guys hear, then I'm going to give my thoughts.
Facts. If you was Dillian Whyte, yeah, would you take that just to say you're fighting for the world heavyweight title? And what do you think would happen if Tyson Fury meets up with Dillian Whyte?
Me and Dillian Whyte are different fighters. I was offered the same thing Dillian Whyte was offered to box Holyfield. I said I'll take it. You know why? I'll take it because once I beat Holyfield, I can get everything. And if it costs me to get there, as long as I get there.
There you go. That is the message for Dillian Whyte.
Yeah, man. I mean, how many times are you going to be able to box for the heavyweight championship of the world?
Well, people, you heard it from Lennox Lewis. So here's the thing, right? Lennox Lewis, his words, basically, I understand his point of view. I can't say, I'm not going to say I feel like he's wrong. Okay. Now, it's not based on, Dylan should do it because Lennox is saying he should do it. Everybody handles situations different. Now, if Lennox doesn't do it, not Lennox, Dillian Whyte. If Dillian Whyte doesn't do it and this situation passes him by, meaning, he lets this opportunity go and then he just gets skipped over. And then it'll be said, look, this is the second time this guy was offered a title fight and then turned it down. And both times it was because of the money. So the other thing with that is he can turn this fight down. If they're offering him $5 million right now, we know that he wants more than that. He may end up taking another fight, and pretty much I don't see anybody else out there that he can fight right now, and they're going to actually give him more than what they're offering him for this fight. You take a guy like Andy Ruiz, who would want more than that, right? Which he definitely he would want more than that. But at least for Andy Ruiz, he was the world heavyweight champion at one point, okay? And I don't know, I'm not going to speak on this guy's emotions. And it's a lot that goes into, speaking on something from the outside looking in is easy to say. Well, if it was me, I would do this and I would do that. Certain situations are more clear cut where you can say, you can form an opinion, and it's easier to just form an opinion on certain things. In the past, there's been different fighters who have been in the same situation or similar situation, and we've said, you know what, this person is in a position where they need to just take the money. I mean, you got to look at the fact that this guy got the second best resume in the heavyweight division. He's been winning, been promised to get his shot. And I mean, now this is when Wilder held the title. Now Fury's holding the title. When AJ was holding the title. Now Usyk is holding the title. So it's been a rocky road for him. Now, basically, for Lennox Lewis, I get it. And I've said that about other fighters, and I'm saying the same thing. I'm not saying that he shouldn't take it. I'm just saying I can understand why he's trying to exercise his rights, because for him to be lineal champion and mandatory, and the WBC rule stating that he's entitled to 30% for one and 45 for the other. I think is it 45 for lineal and 30 for mandatory, or vice versa. But anyway, and this is their own rules. They're not honoring their own rules. Now, Lennox Lewis, was he mandatory and was he lineal at the same time? Because if not, then it wasn't the same thing. Now, they might have offered you the same dollar amount, but it's not the same situation. And that's the difference, and one of the things that I don't think people are paying attention to. Now, I didn't watch that whole interview, so I don't know all of what was said. I've seen people saying, that, he called Dillian Whyte a coward. And Now, I don't know if that's just the content creator trying to use clickbait, but I'll say it this way. I mean, people are entitled to their opinions, but if you're going to call him a coward because of that, you're trying to make it seem like he's using that as an excuse for the fight to not happen. I really don't see that being the case. Now, Lennox Lewis himself, okay, this is where, so if he said that, so I don't know if he actually said that or not, but that really would be uncalled for and some real out of pocket type, comments, because for one, let's look at Lennox Lewis, right? Out of all he's accomplished. Now, I'm not talking about his haters, because people always want to hate, and you never know who's who. But Lennox Lewis, for example, okay, the same way he has an opinion, people feel like he retired from boxing because he simply didn't want to have to fight Vitaly again. And he knows if he would have continued and fought and didn't fight Vitaly, people would have been calling him a coward, which they definitely would have. And most people that I talked to and you hear the comments was saying that they felt like Vitaly won. Now, they exaggerated this shit, made it sound like Vitaly was just beating Lewis down and like Lewis wasn't getting his licks in. Okay, he didn't get that cut eye and that bruised face for nothing. They were both going at it. But Vitaly, I mean, it is what it is. A lot of people, if not most, like I said, was feeling like he got the best of him. Now, regardless to that, I don't think Lewis would like the fact people call, yo, you a coward. That's why you retired. And he knows that. I'm pretty sure he's heard those comments. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Eddie Hearn has said he believes Tyson Fury is going to vacate the title to avoid fighting Dillian Whyte. That just may be true. But I'm going to tell you what I believe if that does happen. And I honestly, this is what I'm looking at, his lack of interest in Dillian Whyte, okay? Because he's made several videos talking about Anthony Joshua and Usyk, okay? Just dropped another video about Joshua. So let me say, this is what I believe. I believe that he will walk away from this fight if they rule it in Dillian Whyte's favor. And in all honesty, he'd be walking away from way more money than what Dillian Whyte is walking away from. So is he a coward for that if he walks away? Because he's leaving a lot of money on the table. And that will only make more sense in this route. He basically, in my opinion, we know that Usyk and Anthony Joshua too is not too far from now. So I believe Tyson Fury really wants to walk away from this fight. He shows no interest in Dillian, and that he's going to take a soft touch and wait for the winner of Anthony Joshua and Usyk, and then try to get a fight with one of those two. And if he's already walked away from the fight, that means he's vacated the title. So there's nothing they can do to him. Now, here's the thing. Let's say if that does happen. Now, Dillian Whyte, you take that title, and then you do the right thing with the title. Now, whether you want to fight for the title or whether you want to accept it first and then fight, make a defense against, a top contender, you do that. Now, if he does that, that means, okay, I didn't fight you, but let's say if they choose Wilder or Andy Ruiz or somebody like that, he's still fighting the top guy. Let's say if Dillian Whyte says, nah, I see what you're doing. I'm going to play chess with you now. I'm going to get this title. I'm going to take a soft touch, and I'm going to wait for the winner of AJ and Usyk. I have something that they want. For you was more for the name. You understand what I mean? Because for Tyson Fury, he's already talking about defending his Ring Magazine championship and all that and whatever. And, they brought up Emmanuel Char. I don't know if you guys saw, the interview or saw the article with Bob Arum when he's talking about fighting, fighting Dillian Whyte is the same as fighting Emmanuel Char, which is garbage. Okay, Emmanuel Char hasn't fought in 4 goddamn years. He had 1 fight in 4 goddamn years. And Emmanuel Char is not on the same level as a Dillian Whyte. So to even say that goes to show you they're shooting down the fight. You're not promoting a fight by shooting your opponent down and making people look at him like he ain't shit. I told you. They're trying to make Dillian Whyte look unimportant. They don't want this fight. And I'm just looking at the pieces of the puzzle that they're all putting down. They do not want this fight. Even if Dillian agreed to the terms, I just don't think they want it. So even if they went through with it, I don't think they really want the fight because they want the winner of AJ and Usyk. And you know all this talk that Fury is doing about AJ and calling him a big dasa and you all my hard work, you let this little guy go take the belts back to his country. You know, I believe this. He probably really does want AJ to win because he knows that him versus AJ is going to be a stadium fight. And pretty much him and AJ in the UK definitely will be a bigger fight than him and Usyk. So even if he fought Usyk, well, he's not going to call the shots of where they fight at. Usyk is going to do that. Let's be real. He, unified champion. And the way fights fall apart nowadays, it wouldn't even be guaranteed that it happens. You understand what I'm saying? So I believe that that's what the situation is with that. And like I said, I feel like, Dillian Whyte, whatever he decides to do, he's going to have to live with that. If he walks away from that, I feel like it's a lowball offer. If you're going to make that same money, at least, or you're not going to make, I don't see a fight that he can have out there where he's going to get that much. And not only that, it won't be for a championship. So I understand his position and how he feel, and I understand what Lennox Lewis is saying. So it is what it is. But pretty much, as far as him making his American debut, now for it to have a real impact, Deontay Wilder is the only American heavyweight champion that people are even familiar with. So nobody said that who he fights has to be from America. Okay, but I guess they feel like it would make more sense. But if it's not going to be against a Wilder, then, or another top guy, then, I mean, does it really matter if he fights in the U.S. or just keep it at home? Go back, fight somebody in the O2 Arena. Show that, hey, I can fill up the O2, without having a super popular dance partner. He's done it twice from what I understand. So, looking at, considering all those things, I just say that it would probably, to me, okay, it would probably be more in his best interest that if he doesn't, see, and it's hard for me to say that because I know what's at stake. This is what I'm saying. The WBC is not honoring their own rules, okay, unless there's some change or some stipulation that we don't know about, okay? But if they don't rule it in his favor, it would probably be in his best interest to take the fight. Because listen, you win, hey man, the ball is your court. And Lennox Lewis is the same guy that said that he agreed and understood why Dillian Whyte turned down the offer from Eddie and AJ. Now, if y'all remember, I think the stipulations in that fight was something like Anthony Joshua was going to get a bigger portion of the money, whether he won or lost the rematch. So it's like you're the champ and I'm the champion. You're making more money than me in the rematch. And no, so that type of thing. Well, somebody could use their opinion and have their opinion on that and say, well, hey, if you think you can beat AJ, fight him and beat him. Do it again, right? That's just opinions. So all that put aside, I'm just going to say this. Dillian Whyte is going to do whatever he thinks is best for him. If it's something that comes back to haunt him, got to live with it. If it works in his favor, then hey, it is what it is. So anyway, that's my take on that. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.